yoga swing to you. So everyone wants to stand in back of the yoga swing for a second. We're going to notice that first of all, these swings are really stretchy and they're really comfortable. They're made of this awesome kind of like cotton spandex blend. And they expand, so you can actually get in them like a little cocoon. Okay, so they're super comfy. We'll have lots of playtime with them. They each come with 2 handholds. Mine are purple just to distinguish between you guys. We're checking the equipment right now. Before we start any class, when we're going over with everyone, we have everybody follow us and mimic what we're doing. We're actually making sure that the equipment is hung up correctly. And this is the most important thing about starting the practice. So you'll see they're hung up with daisy chains. I actually have super long daisy chains because of this awesome space. And we kind of got creative with it. But every set of daisy chains comes with the full swing set. And then from there, we can adjust the height of the leg loops. We each have 2 leg loops. Okay? So that makes up all of the pieces. They're climbing carabiners that I use. So they're really great carabiners, nice and strong. Everything is weighted for 500 pounds. Okay? Obviously, if one person who's 500 pounds stands in one leg loop, that is not going to work out very nicely. The entire swing set is weighted for 500 pounds. So I would not personally put more than 100 pounds of weight unsupported in the leg loops. So sometimes when people are standing in these and it doesn't feel quite right, I'll say, so don't stand in the leg loops without using the swing. I'll show you what I mean, just to give you a little visual. So if we're utilizing the leg loops, like so, I can kind of pull myself up and do this, but I have the swing behind me, just in case. So that's what I mean by don't just use the leg loops by themselves and stand in them, which I do a lot of events and festivals and people do crazy things. And there'll be like 5 people in the swing, you know. So many, one at a time. There'll always be like a lovely little couple who wants to do some romping around in the swing, and I always just say they're weighted for 500, but I would like one person at a time in the swing. People like to hang out and cuddle in here and whatnot. So they are very comfortable, I understand, but yeah, one at a time. If they're children, you can have 2 children. The children's love playing in the leg loops. They usually run up and just go crazy. I've also worked with, the dog go outside soon. I've also worked with women who are in their 80s. So really, the aerial yoga is designed, he knows exactly where the camera is. The aerial yoga is designed for any age, any level of experience, any body shape. We really welcome everyone to really give it a try. And when I show you the different positions, the different sequences, the different routines, you'll really understand why I've designed it the way I do. It can be incredibly fun and showy and acrobatic and dynamic. I do performances and things like that. That's not really why I created the aerial yoga. I created it for support in backbends and inversions. So that's what we want to do first. We're going to start to explore, and we're all going to do this together. There will be a break at about 1:30. We're going to go for another hour since we're just jumping in. Is everyone good? Okay. Well, if you need to, like I said, do something, take a pause. So we're putting the swing behind our backs. We're going to learn the anchor points. The hooks are the anchor points. They're similar. So the swing is behind the back, right behind the heart. We're also testing the equipment to see if it's at the right height for you, and we will adjust it to make sure that you're completely happy. So from this place, I usually put my hands in the leg loops, so now I'm like a little marionette. And then I'm going to sit straight down. So, like I said, first anchor point is underneath the arms. We always keep our arms on the outside with the elbows bending down. So pull on your leg loops a little bit, yes. Now notice when you pull on your leg loops, so we're sitting straight down like we're in a chair, Jason. Awesome. Cool. We're letting all of our weight hang. And now we start to feel the spine tractioning out of the pelvis. And that should start to feel really, really good. Because if you can be a little bit wider if you like, and press from one side to another, we're just getting familiar with how the swing can support us. I like these round mats that I just found because they really do represent the spiraling and the circle nature that we get to play in. So we have plenty of room since it's a nice intimate group, but I also want us to be mindful of our friends. So just notice that there might be someone beside you, or in front of you, or in back of you, or whatever. And we're just going to be really inviting and sharing in this space with one another, especially when we get limbs flying, okay? But for now, we're just feeling into that spiraling and that circling. So whenever we sway from side to side, I usually call it swagger. So a lot of these names are kind of from dance moves and everything like that. So you'll notice that your arms would be falling asleep a little bit. If that happens, it means you need to lean back more. So practice just straightening your legs and leaning back. Notice how it takes the pressure off the underarms, right? So that is one of the ways that you can get more blood and circulation into the arms, is just lean back, right? Now when you come back to sitting, notice there's a big difference between the shoulders that are up to the ears. And when we engage our lats, and we have an arch and a slight back bend, much better. Hips straight down like you're sitting. There you go. Cool. So from here, we're going to straighten our legs straight out in front of us, and we're going to do a few undulations. So let's hold on to the leg loops for now. We're going to swing our arms back and overhead, coming into prayer hands, looking up. And then when we exhale, we're going to bring our arms out like wings and just sit straight down. Awesome. Inhale, lift the hips, arch, press up, lean back. Exhale, sit back. Good. So see if you can keep your legs straight the entire time. Just lift the hips. Beautiful. And exhale. So this anyone can do, right? So this would be beginners. We're going to get a little bit more fancy and advanced, but I'm really, like I said, more interested in focusing on the therapeutics. And I want you guys who have injuries to ask me questions when we come across something and you feel like it would be really helpful or useful to make some variations. Exhale back down. Maura, do you want to put the music back on for a little bit? Thanks. Inhaling. And exhale. Beautiful. So when we're sitting here, we're going to actually let go of the leg loops and do the same movement, but a little bit larger. Inhaling, reach back and up, over the head. You can also clasp your hands behind your head if you have any sort of neck tension or issue. And just let yourself sway from side to side a little bit. So swing is behind the heart, right? Elbows are out to the side, or straight arms, fingers over the head. And then when we exhale, we drop the hips, we sit down, and we come to namaste. So notice I'm going to squeeze here. So now we're really engaging our chest as we sit down. Inhaling, release the arms out like we're swimming through water. Nice. Exhale, stay. So this would be equivalent to our salutation, right? This is how we're translating. These are the 12 yoga translations. Inhaling back. Now stay here again and sway a little bit from side to side, keeping the hips lifted. Just noticing how the arms can have some freedom and mobility. Or clasp the fingers behind the head. For anybody who has shoulder issues or neck issues, when we clasp the hands behind the head, it's one of the chilaxin sequences, which we do a lot. Awesome. And then sitting back down. It's beautiful. So we're going to test out our leg loops before we go forward. We're going to still keep doing some squats and lunges and whatnot, but I want us all to grab one leg loop with both hands, pull it down enough so you can put it behind your knee to begin. Okay, and now notice, we're going to lift. We're going to be basically floating in space for a second. So let yourself float after you get that one in. There you go. And then lift and put the other knee. Some people really have trouble with that little bit of floating, so you just take them slowly through it. Let's turn off all the phones, okay? Great. Cool. So you have to really pull that leg loop down to get the leg in there. There you go. So the leg loops are adjustable. So we're going to drop our hips straight down and see where we're at. So you're good, you're good. I'm going to lower yours a little, okay? So just notice that there's usually one person that feels like, wait, this isn't quite the the Goldilocks experience I was hoping for. Okay, cool. So you're going to come back out, and I'm going to help you adjust these. So That's why we have this little step stool. 1, 2, 3, 4. Still in the vortex. Did everyone sign the waiver? Yes. Thank you. One of those little semantics that I wanted to make sure we got covered. Yeah, so this is a good example of how we can lower the leg loops if for some reason they are too high for someone. The daisy chains have a mark that show the different heights and variations, okay? So I want you to try that, and if we need it lower, then we're going to do that one more time. Lean back. Both hands grabbing one, and then just lift up, get your foot in there. Hiya! Karate kick it in. It's actually going to be a little bit easier now that it's lower for you. Good. That looks good. And then this is also a good core workout. So you can do it. There you go. Yeah. Yeah. Good. We could actually make them higher or lower depending on the flexibility of the person. But right around hip level, or a little higher than hips, is ideal. Would you like yours lower, or are you good?
So when you're in this
change
position, it's about hip height, or when you're...
A little higher than the hips, because, you know, see mine are a little bit close to the hip height, but I could actually put them higher or lower depending on what I'm doing. See, like now she could be a little lower, but she's pretty flexible too. We're going to slide them onto our ankles now and test out the leg loops on our ankles. Good. And this is usually where we can tell, like, we might need to adjust them. If they're, like, as high as Jason's, we might need to bring them one lower. So, Jason, would you like to practice lowering your leg loops down one? Awesome. You might need the step stool, and you want to fix that carabiner that's sideways anyhow. Cool. And while he's doing that, we're going to practice doing some windshield wiper moves. So we're just going to... Yeah, just bring the whole carabiner down one. There you go. Try that. Thank you. Good job. So yeah, so windshield wipering the legs. We're just exploring in the space. We can have shoulders down, right? Slight arch in the back. Hips stay heavy though. Keep your hips down at the same time. So we're rolling the energy back. And then practice with the chillaxin. Elbows out to the side. Here's class. We'll let Jason get back in, and then we're going to go back to our squats. That's where we're going to watch. Awesome, cool. That looks better. Thank you, Jason. Okay, cool. So let's get grounded one more time. So exiting 1 foot at a time. Use your core to lower back down. And then for this particular sequence, I usually hold on to these and have them be a little bit of a bicep workout. So as I'm pulling down, you can see my heart is lifting. So notice if you don't pull down, people tend to go like this. And we want really nice long necks. So you actually got lucky there. So you're going to take some time. Cool. So yeah, so we want this nice, long, open front of the spine. So I usually have people engage, right? So we're just going to shift from side to side again, like we were before. We're just going to go a little bit deeper now. So pressing forward, almost coming into a warrior. We can bring our feet a little bit wider, so the knees are happy, making sure they're tracking over the ankles. And then we get a deeper groin stretch that way as well. Good. Yeah. Feel free to mosey on off of the red mat if you need more space. Cool. And again, we're just playing with some of the yoga poses. So now we're going to bop into a warrior two. Cool. And we're just going to kind of circularly go around, so we're all going in the same direction. Good. There you go. And feel what it feels like. We're just pausing here to notice what it's like to do a warrior with the swing supporting us. Totally different, yeah? Can you feel the difference in the body, the buoyancy, and the lift as we lower? So just lower a lot. And notice how it takes so much pressure off the legs and the knees. I've had a lot of knee injuries, and I can do lots more poses in yoga than I could previously. So I'm really grateful for the opportunity to do some of these poses without feeling like I'm aggravating the old injury. And then we're just going to shift back to change sides. Beautiful. And again, exploring warrior two. Just seeing what it feels like to kind of pulse in the space. Keeping the arms really strong, torso aligned. I'm not going to go into so much of the alignment principles from yoga, but when it feels like it's important, I'll just add some specifics and particularities that will translate nicely into yoga swing. Really good. Cool. Again, we're just starting out really slow. And again, we're going to pulse from side to side. Just one breath, one movement. Feel free to kind of free flow and go at your own pace, move your own way. It's nice when we synchronize swim, but it's also okay for you to just kind of have your own exploration. Awesome. And now what we're going to do is we're going to practice going all the way around. Yeah. Merry-go-round. Nice. And of course, now we want to synchronize swim with our neighbors. Good, Jason. So Jason's got an eye on you because he's like the back of the canoe. You know, he's like, no, you just paddle, I got you. So this is good. Nice. Yeah. Yeah, if you're consistent, then he can follow you. So it'll just, yeah, good. And it looks really cool. Really nice. Good job, guys. And so from here, what we're going to do is we're going to actually press forward. Next time we come forward, keep your feet wide. And when we have our arms in the leg loops, it's called angel wings. Now, if we have our arms outside of the leg loops, it's still called angel wings. We're just playing with the leg loops right now. So it's also called peppermint patty. Sometimes it's like you get the sensation. So I made up really kind of fun names for a lot of the poses. And if we explore something and come up with something new, I'm really open to hearing what suggestions you have for different names. So please feel free to add to the mix. So from a back bend, we're going to bend our knees and come all the way forward. Beautiful. Bends. Okay, bend the knees. Keep weight in the swing. And then lean back and reach back. And again, undulate forward. The feet can be hip distance together. Just kind of explore beautiful. And then lean back again. Beautiful. Inhale forward. Beautiful. And from the next back bend variation, we're just going to come to center. Back to Sumo Squat. Isn't that fun? So that's usually how I start with anybody at any levels as I'm getting them used to utilizing the swings. Now notice if you don't wear a little shirt, you're going to get really irritated in the underarms. And that's just part of the deal. You get used to it with time. It's the same with the knees. Yeah, so that's great. Let's just try doing our Sumo Squat. This is where I really like to have people engage their arms, lift their chest, and press their legs out to the side. So again, the sumos can be really challenging for people. If we wanted to use our full weight, we would just shift forward. Notice I don't have to. I can kind of lean back, and the swing is holding me. If I want to do a little bit more strengthening and engaging practice, I would just come right over my body and hold my weight. So you have some options and variations there. Okay? So from here, we did our side to sides, we did our sumo squats. We're just going to come into some lunges and some twists. So the first twist we're going to do is feet forward, kind of like our back bend, right? So from back bend, we can come down. Let's all go in the same direction. So we're going to take our left leg and step it over the right, bending the top knee. And then just twist. I usually either assist the knee or I just extend my arms depending on how deep I want to go. I usually find the knee assist a little bit deeper. So just depending on the flexibility of your group. Now notice we're on the outer edge of the bottom foot. That's great. And then we're going to come back to center. Sometimes I'll do a little bit of a cleansing arch, back bend, and then switch sides. Or I'll just go side to side. You can just decide on your group how deep you want to go with them in the twists. So right angle with the top knee bent more. Yeah, you go a little bit deeper. Now drop your hips straight down towards the ground. There you go. So the more you drop your hips down, the deeper the side body stretch. Okay, and one very deep in the pose. And notice I'm going to keep my bottom leg straight. I'm going to keep the top leg bent, and I'm going to come to the other side. Sometimes I'll do a little quad stretch. So you're actually just rolling on that foot. Your right foot twists and turns, and then you come back. So you can use a little bit more core this way, and get a stretch in both directions. So that's a little bit more of the play that I like to do with the yoga swings. Both feet together. Let's cleanse it out. Exhaling down. Again, right foot steps. Go a little bit deeper. Keep that foot up if you want to engage the core. And then swing it around to the other side around the foot. Nice. So the standing leg stays straight. Nice. And switch. Good. Nice. So you notice how deep that is in the torso and the spine. Beautiful. And back to center. Let's just cleanse it out. So let's everybody clasp your hands behind your neck, keeping your elbows wide, and just come into a spider. Let your body feel completely lifted and held as you let your head and neck go into your hands. And a lot of the swaying and the micro movements will start to open up and loosen the fascia around the connective tissue. And it's like a sheath around the muscles that gets an opportunity to stretch and expand. Nice. So from here, let's come into a few lunges. Let's keep the right foot forward, trusting forward, stepping the left foot back. So we did the warrior twos, and now we're just going to come into a front lunge. So notice we can use our leg loops here. Sometimes they'll just whack us when we're doing things, so I just hold on to them just for fun. I can also hook them with my elbows if I just want to keep them out of the way. So just decide what you want to do. So you don't have to use them, they're just kind of fun. I like the whole feeling like a Pinocchio. Little dogs. And then pulse a little bit here. I do like using the undulations and the pulse in my own kind of yoga practice, so I incorporate those into the swings. And then we're going to twist. So we all go into twist to the right. Now notice you have a little bit of resistance there with the swing, and that's going to help us deepen into the psoas. So again, just pulse here as you go a little bit deeper. And then back to center. So when we pulse, our hands are pulling down. Yes. And then when we come back up, deepening in the hips. So we're engaging our arms way more than we normally would, right, in this pose. That's great. And then let's just twist and counterbalance to the left. A little bit of a pulse there. Make sure the legs are happy, strong and stable, knee tracking over the ankle. You guys are all awesome yogis, so you got it. To switch, I'm going to lean back, straighten both legs, push forward, right leg steps back, left knee bends. Beautiful. Again, we're going to have the pulse. Notice which part of the arms you're using here. That part that we never access, right? And underneath, that is like the yin lines that kind of get a little saggy. So this is a really good way to really engage all the intrinsic muscles around the shoulders. And it's a great way to start to heal some of the shoulder injuries. Those that have been having that experience. And it's in PT, your arms will be out and they'd be doing these little micro movements. So we're doing something similar, but with the push down and the twist. Okay? So now we're all going to twist to the left. Shift to the left and pulse. Now use your resistance against the swing to go a little bit deeper. See how that's helping to deepen in the psoas on the right side? Awesome. Neutralize and twist. Pulses. So I'm going to just let go for a second to show you what I'm doing here. So all of this has to do with, I have background in body work and healing and all this instructional integration. So what we're doing is we're using the swing to press into those small intrinsic muscles around the rotator cuff. And this movement pretty much never happens in any exercise where it's gentle and yet strengthening. And that's what's going to heal a lot of the shoulder stuff that we're doing. The other part, you guys can come up through neutral for a second. The The other part of the body that holds a lot of tension that is not accessed is the underarms. So a lot of people will experience pain and discomfort from there being pressure in the underarms, but I can guarantee that this will heal most upper body back pain. Once we open up the pectorals, this movement here will basically relieve the pressure that is built up here in the traps. So a lot of times, like, we're just playing and having fun, but there's some deeper meanings there that I'm going to go into details with you guys, since we have time in the teacher training to really go deep into the body wisdom and why. Can you feel it?
Well, it's so great for the lymphatic system, both.
Exactly.
When working here and working.
So that's a really good point, and we'll get into this later on in the afternoon. What we're really doing with the yoga swings is activating the endocrine system and the lymphatic systems. These are the two energy managers of the body. They control the hormones, they control the brain function. There's a lot of different ways that it overlays the chakra system and the meridians. So there's a lot of ways we're accessing the energy body simply by having fun and playing. And that really is this next wave of healing and embodied consciousness that is coming through. It's through play. So that's why I call it aerial yoga play. Which is kind of like my own kind of distinction between just aerial yoga and how play is like the new form of transformation. It's really cool stuff. So we went over some basics. Is everyone comfortable with what we did? This is like basic, but once we master the basics, it's going to be the basis for all the other poses we do. Okay? Does that feel good to everyone? Any questions? Awesome. Let's take a little pause in the video. Does anybody need a